Never once have I seen a lady as beautiful, talented, and charming as glamorous Joan Bradshaw. She is a rare version of beauty personified, with those cute poses that remained evergreen several years after, amidst a life of glamour, drama, and runaway success. She is one of the famous beauties that rejected Elvis Presley with all his prestige. I heard she ventured into movie production, but I'm not sure how that vocation panned out. Why Joan Bradshaw rejected Elvis Presley's advances. If there is one lady who deserves respect for her beauty and attraction alongside an enviable talent, it should be Joan Bradshaw. She got my A rating in that area, and as many have said, she is such a genius in her act. I have heard an adage that says the beautiful ones are not yet born, but each time I take a cursory look at the magnificence of ladies like Joan, I always tell myself that many beauties have already been born. Joan Bradshaw is sure one of the splendours that had thousands of young men fall under her spell. She is just a special creature who has continued to influence humanity with her cuteness and talent. In case you're still wondering why I'm eulogising Joan Bradshaw this much, wait until you hear how the king of rock and roll, the Prince Charming of many ladies, the one and only Elvis Presley, had to hunger and thirst for her love to no avail. She declined him without mincing words. Joan Bradshaw's prestige in the entertainment scene could still serve generations to come. I heard that in what seemed like a display of madness, Elvis Presley played lawn-mower with his prestigious car across some bushes and flower beds in front of Joan's apartment, because she refused to honour his dating request. That is how influential her charm was on powerful men in the entertainment arena. Always seen with her cute little dog that looks almost like her career partner, she was often seen flaunting the little animal in many of her photographs. Her iconic image as a sex symbol was cemented in 1956 when she was featured in the October edition of Playboy magazine, and about a year later Joan Bradshaw was cruising even higher as she was featured on the cover of Cabaret magazine. Her photographs are among the greatest collections of photography across the globe, talking about the legendary offbeat, historically relevant and sensational behind-the-scenes images of this beautiful goddess. The unstoppable Joan Bradshaw, as a writer once described this iconic lady, may have had a Hollywood career shrouded in glamour and blockbusters. In the arena of feminine elegance, critics would agree that actress Joan Bradshaw was a favourite subject not just for photographers, but in the minds of men of valour. I was particularly thrilled after watching a photo of Joan Bradshaw, probably taken in the 1950s, which captured the angelic icon in her home vicinity, walking her toy poodle around a background that would remind you of the iconic Hollywood sights. She was an intelligent party freak and has a way of making herself happy. The likes of Dennis Hopper and Elvis Presley were often seen hanging around her at parties. The rock and roll singer was particularly obsessed with her. She seems to have kept him on the edge within the period he was chasing her around, as Elvis was doing all he could to get her yes parting together, wearing costumes to celebrate Halloween on one occasion and feeling perplexed around her aura. She also knew that Elvis Presley had his way with many leading ladies, so she was ready to make him sweat over her charm. Or do I say she cast a romantic spell on him, which theoretically took him to the heavens, and by the time he returned to her, Joan Bradshaw turned down his request. I heard that this cute lady later ventured into movie production after exploring her talent in modelling, acting and related showbiz. Some reports say she also became one of the influential Hollywood producers. Some of her films as executive producer include, but are not limited to, Castaway, Contact and The Road to Perdition. Joan Bradshaw was indeed a prestigious woman in Hollywood, especially with her smash hits that are still waiting to be rivalled. But who is this highly sensual, 1.63-metre tall Joan Bradshaw? She was born Joan Gale Bradshaw sometime in 1936 in Tulsa County, Oklahoma, USA. Her parents, John Bradshaw and Mary Merkel, got married in Carter County months earlier, before she was given birth, though another source gave her birth year as 1938 and her city of birth as Houston, Texas. I'm not sure why the discrepancy in the data, but it's not unusual for young female models and actresses to try to hide their age and thereby create different versions of reports about it. Why I can't authoritatively link the age discrepancy to an early age manipulation, there is a likelihood that is the reason. Joan Bradshaw became the first daughter of the young family. Following Joan's joyful natal, her parents decided to relocate. The family later settled in Houston, Texas, where her father, an ambitious medium-scale entrepreneur, owned an ice cream making business. Joan's father also picked up some horses, which enabled little and angelic Joan Bradshaw to start riding horses as early as age 3. She was the joy of her parents, and her father ensured that her childhood was fun and memorable. When Joan was registered as a sophomore student at Houston's John Reagan High School, she was so outstanding in almost every one of her activities, but her beauty was more like a driving force, and by the end of the 1952 school year, Joan has already set her mind on showbiz. That year became her final year in school the moment she saw the opportunity she had been waiting for. Joan was 15 when she abandoned her academics to concentrate on her entertainment calling, as she began practicing as a model and competed in several beauty pageants and related beach contests. Amidst everything she is known for in her career, her stunning beauty always comes first. It is the same beauty that quickly threw her into the spotlight the moment she kick-started this entertainment journey. The first sign of greatness is the year Joan Bradshaw was crowned a beauty queen. She won her first beauty competition at the age of 16. The glamour was extraordinary for teenage Joan as she capped with Miss Texas USA on the 4th of July 1953. That epic event, which was in the second year of the pageant, marked the beginning of her celebrity life, though not yet ripe for the bigger stage. Young Joan was also a semi-finalist, coming among the top 15 in the 1953 Miss USA pageant, which took place in Long Beach, California. I also heard she is one of the beauty queens that competed in the Miss Universe parade that same year. She, however, did not win, but it did not stop her vivacious spirit. With her kind of magnetism, there's no doubt that she would have won the Miss Universe, though a lot of factors played against her, mainly inexperience. I still believe that she had all it takes to take the lead in that event, but fate was preparing her for bigger shows. She may have also corroborated this view. While responding to what was responsible for her not winning, Joan told fans later in her career that she was underage at the time she contested. Like a few of the girls that competed, she was below the minimum age of 18 stipulated for the pageant. Her stats, as reported at that time, are 5 feet 4 inches in height and weighing 113 to 115 pounds. Of course, a natural brunette with cute brown eyes. Other of her statistics show measurements of 36, 23, 36. Another report expectedly said her bust size increased to 38 some years later. Joan Bradshaw's skills for that beauty contest were singing, sport and ice skating. These are just a few things she naturally unwinds with. Maybe going to parties would have taken centre stage as part of her socials, because Joan was an outgoing lady and does that decently without any scandal, or so it seems. What do I know? Joan Bradshaw is a versatile and accomplished character in the entertainment industry. Her name may not be as famous to the present generation simply because she worked more behind the scenes in Hollywood. Her contributions to Hollywood as a model-turned-actress and a prolific film producer are remarkable. Maybe I should also say that she was one of the beauty and brains you can find in the Hollywood circle. Her many-sided career is evidence of her flexibility, determination and passion in the showbiz industry, especially in film and television. How she moved from modelling to acting tells much about a lady with a vision. After her beauty pageant engagement, Joan returned to Houston, where she took a part-time job as a receptionist for the Texas company, which transformed into a company today known as Texaco. Even while she worked, Joan knew that the job was not what she wanted to do for a long time, and eventually got a hint of a new career. She took a quick trip down to New York and became the girl who danced the mystery dance on the once-in-a-week Arthur Murray Party television show. Like I said earlier, her beauty is always her selling point, as she got noticed by many, including those in the movies, who felt that she would be a fit on screen. It was actress Jean Simmons who first suggested for her to try a movie career. Inspired by greatness and fame, young Joan Bradshaw switched on her lovely charm before heading to the West. Reports say she won 10 acting roles within her first 14 months in Hollywood and became one of the hot starlets and models at the time. Her swift transition to acting was spectacular, as she capitalized on her modeling success to take acting by storm. She made her film debut in the movie The Giant Claw, a science fiction production about a giant bird horrifying the skies, released in 1957. Despite the film's B-movie status, it was just enough to turn on her acting career. The moment Joan arrived in Hollywood, she began turning the heads of Hollywood actors. The men rolled their tongues at her cuteness as they plotted secretly among themselves to have her. Unluckily for them, beautiful Joan already knew their antics and had guided herself like the queen she is. Very remarkable too is the fact that legendary Elvis Presley was one of those on cue competing for her attention. Elvis was intensely bewitched by her spell that he kept following her around and taking her to places including parties. One of the notable get-togethers that Elvis and Joan went to was the celebrity clothier Cy Devaugh's Halloween party in 1957, which made eyes rolled over the twosome. Critics say Joan Bradshaw recorded what was described as a social coup when she arrived at the party with Elvis Presley. Fans would remember her in The Party Crashers, a movie title that sounds like one of her hobbies. Forgive my curiosity, this cute lady was also in action in The Hangman and The Twilight Zone. While she did not achieve a leading lady position in her movie career, her on-screen performance, lovability and her acting skills would make Joan a juicy choice for a vibrant supporting actress. It seems Joan Bradshaw realised that she was bigger and more talented than just being a character actress. Perhaps she was aiming for a leading lady role, which she did not have, either because she did not have the opportunistic movie in that regard, or because those she worked with had a better choice for their leading lady roles. I will not be surprised if this is part of the things that formed her opinion years after, when she decided to pulse her acting talent for real-time movie production. Or was it a decision made to favour her private life? Joan Bradshaw was still young and very active at age 25 when she married 56-year-old movie producer Frank Ross. It is within this period that fans got to learn that this beauty queen is set to relinquish her promising career as an actress forever. Rumours went around at the time about the information, with some gossip columnist insinuating that she may have taken a bow so she can take care of her family life in a simpler and more private setting. And before we could say Jack Robinson, Joan did as she said and began a new career as a producer. This move, analysts say, was a turning point in her profession that shows her ability to acclimatise to the ever-changing entertainment arena. I heard she began as a production assistant and rose to a production manager and later began producing as a film producer. She was applauded for her meticulous attention to detail approach to production. Joan was also good in organisational skills, the ability to harness effectively all the elements needed for a hitch-free production. Regarding her success as a career film producer, there seems to be a little controversy over the rate at which she was able to accomplish fame. Some media reports suggest that Joan Bradshaw's career as a film producer was highly successful, with an impressive list of credits, among which are some successful and critically acclaimed movies produced between the 1980s and the year 2000, as the case may be. Contrary opinions are reporting that it would have been an erroneous report to say that the beautiful Joan Bradshaw that was so famously photographed by Earl Leaf walking down Hollywood and Vine with her toy poodle in 1957 achieved success as a producer. This school of thought alleged that another unpopular producer had the same name as Joan Bradshaw. If this is true, the implication is that some of the films credited to Joan Bradshaw as the producer may have been done by another movie producer using the same name. While I can't confirm any of this at this time, I do know that Joan was a co-producer, executive producer on several prominent movie projects and had worked with renowned directors like Robert Zemeckis, Clint Eastwood and Steven Spielberg. In a busy career that spanned over 6 decades in diverse roles as a model, actress and producer, it is well done from me to Joan Bradshaw, who is at this time enjoying her retirement from the industry She's served. But wait, the drama doesn't end here. Get ready to dive into the scandalous love affair of Sandra Milo and Federico Fellini in our next video.